Okay, so I wanted to talk about what being a dropout is like. Now, before I start, I want to just get a few things clear before I start ranting about this. This is totally unscripted. This is just like me talking because I'm bored. Uh, you know, just talking about stuff that I usually talk to myself about. But so I was a dropout in high school, and before anything, um, right now I am 20, so it has been like 3 or 4 years now since I have been out. Um, so there's that. So I'm not like a fresh dropout, like, you know, it's not like it's a new thing or anything for me. But so the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because it really is one of those things where uh, you can get very affected by it. And I already know, like, a lot of people are like, yeah, no, like, no shit. Like, you dropped out, like, what's the, like, what are you even talking about, you know, like, so let's start from the beginning. So I was always that type of kid that was not good with work in school. I always tried my best, but I always struggled because uh, I was lately diagnosed with autism at the end of last year. So only recently I have found out that, you know, I have a disability. And I already knew I had a learning disability since I was younger, but I was never told exactly what it was, like if it was ADHD or autism, you know, anything like that. But now I know, so that helps a lot. But anyways, so I was always that kid that tried a lot, and immediately when I transferred to this school district uh, in the second grade, they kind of off the rip saw that I was not the brightest kid. um, they saw that I was not very I was kind of lost a lot of the times with the class and the lessons and stuff, so I got quickly, you know, got pulled to the side, and I was in like a side room with a woman that did tests with me, and, like, you know, little did I know that she was doing like autism tests basically, but they never told me that. Hell, they could have, but maybe I just don't remember. But anyways, so yeah, so I quickly got put on special education classes for math. So yes, I was in sped classes, not like full blown, like very very disabled people. God, that sounds horrible. Oh my god. But like, you know what I mean? Like, there's kind of like tiers to it. Like, there's like normal classes, sped, and then there's like more sped. That doesn't even sound any better, low key. But anyways, so I got put in sped classes for math. I'm pretty sure it was just math. I don't know if it was for like English and reading too, but I'm not sure. It was definitely math though. I'm still horrible with math. Like, low key, there's probably like third graders out there that could do better math than me. Like, I'm gonna be real. So yeah. So I was always in math for special education, and then eventually uh, I was in English for special education too, but they kept kind of flip-flopping me out, putting me into normal, lower, like, I don't know, I kind of have a theory that there's like kind of tiers to classes. Like there's like A, B, and C. So I feel like I was in like C tier classes for reading. So it was just like normal reading, you know, because you know how like every kid, like a lot of the kids didn't have the same class as you, and you could kind of tell who was in like the smarter classes and stuff like that, but they don't really tell you. That's just a theory I have, but I could be batshit crazy. I don't know, but anyways, it was around middle school, or it was kind of like late elementary. I don't know if that's middle. I don't fucking know, but where I was put in an English class, and I remember they were telling me, or the teacher was like, "Go up on the board and solve this problem." Blah blah blah. And I remember going up there, and I had such like crazy stage fright that I went up there, and I literally started like tearing up, and it was so embarrassing, and it's one of those memories that I have that like I will have and think about back to and be like, damn, like, I shouldn't have been in that class. So after that happened, I got the answer right. And the teacher was like, see, like there was no need to like be worried or anything like that. Like you're fine, And I was like, yeah, I guess so. But after that, I got put back into special education for English, and ever since then, I always was. And then I went to high school, and like I was a freshman and stuff. And the way our school worked was, we kind of had like we went to the high school in like 7th grade, if I'm not wrong. And you're there for like 7th and 8th in the basement, or like the lower floor, and then higher up you go more into it. So when that happened, it was very surreal, like high school. Oh no, like how elementary school teachers are. They're like, this won't slide in high school, and like of course it does. Like it's not that big of a deal, but so I started going there, and then that's when things started to get more hard. I will say, like, it definitely was a little bit frustrating with a lot of the work, but I got a lot of the things done. But so the years went on and stuff, and the grades, and then eventually COVID happened. And we all know what happened with COVID. Oh, you're going to have a 2-week break, and then Easter break is going to happen, and then, it's going to be a long break, like, yay, it's going to be like a long vacation. And then little did we know, it turned into a month, and then 3 months, and then a year, and so on. So when that happened, it was bad, because none of us knew what was going to happen. We were all scared. I remember I was very isolated during that time. We all got switched to virtual, and it was kind of like, do it if you want virtual, because it was like already the end of the year. And I remember working so hard just to get my one classes up again. And in like this one class, I think it was like civics or something, and I remember sitting there and doing like 20 assignments or something, and it was all for nothing, because I did all that stuff, and at the end of the year, they were like, oh yeah, we're just gonna pass everybody. So, so I was like, all right, well, thanks, but no thanks, because like it didn't feel like it was deserved, you know. But after that happened, that school year ended, and then it was summer. It was a very weird summer. I was having problems with trying to get in a relationship with a girl, and she moved away, and so I was struggling with that. Everybody during COVID was having their own problems, and then eventually the COVID restrictions and stuff got pushed down, and it was finally time to go back to school. And I was like, alright, well, we've been out for like super long. Like, it was pretty much like, it was low-key a school year and a half that we missed of school. It was so long if you really think about it, and depending on like where your school is, like it's all different and stuff. But so these were our options when going back to school came back into fruition. So it was either you went full time, just normal, but of course, like, there were still like the Zoom classes in the school and stuff. Like, everybody was still on their laptops. Or you could do half and half, where you could go like half days to the school, or you could do half days to the school, and then you could do half at home on the computer. But it doesn't really matter, because you're on the computer there and home either way, so it doesn't really matter. So there was that, and then there was like completely virtual. So this is where I had to pick my decision. So my mom at the time was a high risk person or patient, I guess. I don't know what the right word would be, but she was high risk for COVID, meaning if she got COVID, she was at a very, very high risk of dying. So I made the decision to do full virtual. And this is where the downfall of, I would say, my life started. Which is crazy to think about. Just one decision started a domino effect. So my mom was like, okay, we'll get your Chromebook and we'll start the virtual and stuff. And then, school starts. And it was very weird. At the beginning, I was sick from the Travis Scott meal. I just wanted to throw that in there, but I got like food poisoning from that. And that was during the beginning of that year. And so yeah, that sucked. So I was sick at the beginning of that stuff. And then, it was very weird at the beginning, because it was like, the teachers didn't really know what they were doing, the kids didn't know what they were doing, and it wasn't like the last year of school where, like, everybody just got passed and, like, it was kind of like, you do whatever. No, this was like, you had to be there and everything, so, like, I did it for, like, the first month, and then I started to fall into a really, really, really bad deep depression, and I had just given up entirely with the schoolwork, and I really shouldn't have done this, because this is, like I said, what started the domino effect of problems in my life. So when this happened, I was missing the classes. I would join like the homeroom call, and then like I would just like close my laptop and miss the whole school day, and it didn't even count. And my parents would be calling me and telling me like, "Hey, are you doing your schoolwork?" Like we're getting like text messages and calls from the school that you're not doing anything, you know. And at this point, dude, it was like halfway through the school year. Probably it was probably like 70%, 75% over at this point, and I was like, all right, I got it. Like I'm gonna do this, you know. Like it's all good. And then it just kind of came to a thought that like what the fuck am I talking about? No, it's not. It's like I failed. Like this is over. I literally failed. It was the first time ever failing a school year because the first two quarters all the classes were just fails. Like I had like atrocious grades during that time. And I get made fun of a lot for it too because like a lot of people were like, it was so easy, you know, like you just did this and that. And maybe for you it was easy, but like for me, like it was really hard and I should have just went, honestly. Like I should have just went in person, but I didn't want to sacrifice my mom's life if I got COVID, you know. So it was just a whole bad debacle, you know. And eventually that like the depression got worse and then I kind of just gave up. I was like, you know what, I'm failing the school year, it's whatever, so I guess I'm just gonna get held back. So I just enjoyed summer while I could. I was told that I could have done summer school, which I didn't even want to because it wouldn't even have helped. It would have barely helped. Like I would have gotten like one, like I low key would have gotten like 1 to 2 credits just from doing that. Like it wasn't even worth it. And so when that was over, it was finally time for everybody to come back to the school. Yay! So, you know, I showed up, and it was very weird because, you know, everybody's wearing fucking masks, and the lunch was set up differently. Where like two separate grades were in one, but like everybody had to sit one seat away from each other and stuff. Like it was kind of, you know, it was like the social distancing stuff. But so that was the year where like I was like, all right, I'm gonna lock in. Like I got this. So I started the year strong, and I tried my best with the shit, like my absolute best, and it was all good. And there was this girl I liked, and tried talking to her, and we became friends. And then eventually I found out that she was a lesbian, and then I was like, okay, like I respect you. Like I remember telling her, I was like, okay, this is not going to work because you're a lesbian, you know. So that happened, and then I was sad about that for a while. And then eventually, my mom started to get very sick. And she was starting to go to the hospital more and more. And I think she had liver dialysis, and she always looked like she had jaundice, like she was very yellow. And she would always have to get like fluid drained. And it was very scary. And I don't know if it was during this school year that I'm talking about or the next one, but we all got COVID. Me, my dad, my mom, my little brother, and other people in the house. We all got COVID, and we were all really sick. It was the first time I had COVID. It was horrendous. Like I low-key thought I was gonna die. Like it was scary. Like I was always winded and stuff. It was very, very scary stuff. But eventually my mom went to the hospital, and One morning I woke up and my sister was here, and her dad, she's my half sister, so she has a different head. So her dad was here with his wife and stuff, and that was when the news came through that my sister told us that my mom died. And this was the moment where I was kind of preparing myself to hear that she had like brain damage along the lines, because my sister was already saying that she was very loopy, and she was just like out of it in the hospital. So I thought like my mom was gonna have like brain damage or something, you know. But no, she told me that my mom died, and low key, there's no way for yourself to prepare yourself at all for that. I don't care what anybody says. There's no way you could prepare yourself for it. And everybody thinks like everybody tries to prepare themselves with like a person in their family that's dying. They're like, oh, you know, like I gotta get ready. Like this person's gonna pass away. Like no, it's just gonna hit you. Like it's just gonna hit you, and it's gonna suck because it's gonna hit you at the worst times. It's gonna be so random too. For instance, I cried a good amount after my mom passed away, but the day it happened, it didn't even feel real. Like it felt surreal. It felt like it was a dream. Like what is going on? Like this is not happening type of thing. Like even now it still just feels like she's just like she went out one day and I don't know where she is. And it's kind of true because like she passed away and she's somewhere else now. But it's like one of those things where you can just not prepare yourself for it. So after that happened, you know, couldn't go to school for 2 weeks, and then I had to go back. And then when I went back, boy, did I miss a lot of work. For instance, my fucking science teacher just decided, hey guys, I'm gonna leave you, and you guys are just gonna have to deal with it, and you guys are gonna have to do online classes for my class, and it's gonna be some weird fucking program. So I had that I never really knew how to do. There was this computer class that was a required class, so I needed to pass it, and I remember I had to stay the extra period at the end of every day just to make it up, and it absolutely sucked every time that happened. And at the end of the year, you know, at the end of everything, I did pass that year, but that's when the thoughts kept coming back in. It was like, I'm still held back. I'm not with the kids that I've been going to school with throughout my entire life. I'm not in any classes really with my friend. I was in like one class with my friend from childhood. And like, I made some friends from being held back, but it's weird because then you're just known as like the guy that's like, you know, got held back. And it's embarrassing. And like, I got made fun of a little bit, even though I'm a big guy. Like, I'm like 6'1", I'm tall. You know, I will admit I'm fat, but I'm not like obese fat. Like, I mean, that's contradicts itself. But I'm not like huge. I fit into my own body, if that makes sense. But you know, when all that stuff came and happened, It sucked. It really did. But I had to fight through it.